Oh, you know what?
You're ready to party.
Yeah, I know. You went.
It's 9 a.m. We're ready to party. The store's closed, but it's open for us, so we're ready.
I like how you went from, I don't want to drink at 9 in the morning to I'm ready for a stout.
It's too strong. What's up, you guys? It's Fleeky Friday. Today we are at downtown Summerlin at Beer Zombies, a craft brewery and draft room. We're gonna go try some beers. Let's go. And what's up, you guys? We are at Beer Zombies in downtown Summerlin with Chris and Raquel Jacobs, the owners and founders of Beer Zombies. Thank you for having us today.
Of course, thank you for being here. We appreciate it.
It's awesome. So tell me, how did Beer Zombies start?
Short story, long story.
Long story.
All right, long story.
We got time.
It started off as like a social media page, just kind of as a spot where I could show my love for beer. So I was doing some art projects and some beer, and then separated into a beer count only just to kind of highlight my beer of the day. Didn't think much of it, and then it just started growing. It went from, starting off a couple hundred followers, and then the next week was 1,000, and it was like 2,000, 3,000, and it just kept growing and growing until I realized I had something. So the Beer Zombies started off just as a pure social media outlook page. That's it.
Where does the name come from?
I'm a zombie fan. It was right, perfect storm. Walking Dead was kind of, launching. It was being real big. It was all over the spot. And I had a art company called We Are Zombies, and that was a zombie themed. I did, a lot of murals in town. If you've been downtown, Commonwealth and Atomic and Banger and
you did those?
Yeah, Pizza Rock and a lot of like murals around town. That was kind of my monkey was the We Are Zombies. So when I separated it into a Beer Zombies, I was just like, I'll call it Beer Zombies, and I just show pictures of beer and just threw a hot beard onto the logo, and then the rest has been 10 years next year of Beer Zombies.
10 years?
Yeah.
It's so cool because I feel like it's so different, the Beer Zombies, and like it really sticks with you. It stands out. So did you always know that this is what you wanted to do?
No.
No?
Actually, so the funny thing, I get this question a lot. I've never written a business plan. I have never, it was completely organic. It wasn't built to start a company. It was something that started that organically went to the next level. Somebody said, oh, that logo is really cool. You should put it on a pint glass. Okay, cool. So I went and ordered a case of pint glasses, and I told Raquel, I said, I feel like we're gonna sit on these glasses forever, and boom, they were gone. 1 second, they were just gone. And I was okay, maybe I do have something here. And then from that, it was t-shirts, and then it was, let's go to a draft room and do a pop-up booth and see what that happens. And then all of a sudden, you're selling all this merchandise with the logo on it, and then it just kind of slowly evolved into the next aspect of each layer of the company. Just kept going and going.
Wow, that's so cool. And it's cool that you started as art, and then it kind of came into two things that you love. So how did you guys start working together? How did you guys meet?
So we met at Cosmopolitan. So we worked at Cosmopolitan. I worked at SDK. He worked at Blue Ribbon, and so we would go. My friends and I, after work, we'd go to the bar, get some drinks after our shift, and I had a little bit of liquid courage, left my number, and pretty much just booked it. I didn't even really say anything. I did it, I'll say it, I did it.
I love it.
But yeah, we went on pretty much one date, and we've been literally together ever since.
Wow.
So going on 11-ish, 12 years.
So Raquel was a sommelier at Mod 32, and that's how we met.
Yep.
And so how did you start integrating the wine into Beer Zombies?
So wine has always been a passion of mine, and I've always wanted to have wine in one of our locations, and we just felt that this particular location was perfect for that. Just being here in downtown Summerlin, I always am here, and so it was just the perfect timing, the perfect fit, and so we put like a little rack up there to make sure we show, we're like, hey, we have wine here. It's a small curation of really cool, unique wines and things that people really will enjoy. And we change things seasonally. So
I love that. And you said you have a wine and cheese night too, right?
Yep. So once a month, my friend Jessica and I, we host a wine and cheese night, and it's always on a Wednesday, and we curate 5 wines paired with 5 cheeses, and we talk about it. We make it fun and approachable, and I think that's the biggest difference, in my opinion, of what sets our event apart in town, is that this is to be fun. It's not to be too educational.
Yeah.
It's a little educational, but it's mainly fun, and to kind of expose people to new wines, or different wines and cheeses that maybe they haven't tried before.
Yeah.
And that kind of follows, I mean, beer zombies in general, beer can get super geeky.
Yeah.
There's sub-levels to every subculture, and beer definitely has its own culture. But I always tell everybody here, you're not here to teach somebody, unless they're asking questions. You're here to give them an experience, explain beer in a fun way, and encourage the guests to come back, as opposed to, well, what are you drinking? What do you like? This is what it needs to be. Do you know what hopses are?
Yeah.
That's not what it is about. And I feel like her wine and cheese night does that exact same thing, because we actually have a lot of the beer guys, that are now showing up on the wine and cheese nights, because they might have been a little bit intimidated by wine in the beginning, and your wife does such a good job. She explains it so well. It makes it so easy and so fun. So it's been a very cool, layer of what we do here.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of the reason why I feel like our vibe works so well too, is because I wanted to integrate the same philosophy, of what our brand is for Beer Zombies. It's craft beer, it's cool, it's approachable, it's fun, and the wine should kind of follow suit. So that's the model that I basically go after for wine.
I love that. I feel like it appeals to every audience. Like sometimes, some people don't drink beer, they drink wine, or vice versa. So we're gonna try some beer and wine. What do we got here?
All right, so this is kind of that style I was telling you about that's super popular right now. It's a fruited sour ale. So this is called Beer Zombie Dream Rule 10. And the actual rule is don't swing low. So these are all rules to fight off zombies in Zombieland.
Ooh.
And this one is strawberry coconut. It's like a strawberry coconut lemonade, 4.8% alcohol, so not super heavy.
So funny, that sounds like nothing now after you said the other one was 15. I'm like, oh, 4?
Yeah.
Good.
4, that's, I mean, this is a session beer.
Breakfast beer.
Cheers.
Guys.
Cheers.
Cheers. Oh my God, that's delicious. It tastes like juice.
Yeah, exactly. So dream, juice rules everything around me. So the idea behind that is it's refreshing, it's fruity, it's non-beer flavored beer. That's the best way to describe it. Because people will come in like, oh, I don't like beer. I said, oh, it's because you haven't tried something like this.
So many people say that to me because I love beer. It's my one thing. Like I was telling her, I don't love hard liquor that much. It makes me feel really sick. Like beer makes me feel good, and like I don't feel hungover after. That's like amazing.
Yeah, these are very, very popular styles. Like I said, it's kind of like the hype style right now. That and the hazy IPAs, and that's kind of what we do. We lean into that. We like to do things that people want.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with people that brew brown ales and red ales, and there's a market for that. But we kind of know our lane, and our lane is stay right where we're hype beers. That's what we like to do. We like to go and have fun and give people what they want.
Yeah. And so is this like a collection? There's a few different juice ones, right?
Yep. So like I said, this is rule 10. So we release 2 at a time. So we release 9 and 10. Usually one of them will be lighter like this, like strawberry lemonade or like watermelon, and the other one will be more like cobbler inspired. So the one that came with this is like cherry cobbler, where we put like dark brown sugar, cinnamon, dark fruits. Sometimes it'll be cherries or like blackberries. So you kind of you can get both, and it's not same. One is more decadent sweet, one is more light sweet.
I love it.
Yeah,
All right.
they're fun.
It's perfect for the summer.
Yeah.
It's so perfect for the summer.
I feel like after all this tasting, I'm gonna be drunk, but it's okay.
No, it's good.
Okay.
Beer is a social lubricant. That's what it's for. I mean, it's meant to do this job.
Yeah. Well, I want to try your favorite. Like
my favorite,
right now.
I tend to go more towards like the IPAs. I like hazy IPAs where, especially when they're kind of like juicy, fruity, but then a little bit of bitterness on the back end. So I have one on draft. I'll grab for you guys.
Okay. Guys, look how cool this is. There's literally zombie hands and a little, he was saying, a Nintendo gun thing.
Zapper gun, that's for the duck hunter. So once this rolls over, so we keep all of our beers online, so you can either scan in and see them, or if you're not here, there's an app that you can go onto and it tells you what we have in real time. So number 12.
Are they numbered based off like favorites or?
No, they're just numbered based off of what kicks and what we put on. Yeah.
That's so cool, the hands.
Yeah.
I love that.
I think that's a big part of too why Chris is, I think, you know, so successful with like the branding too, is that there's details in every little thing.
Details is everything.
Is everything.
Like, that's what makes it.
It really does.
So like something like this, you're gonna get those kind of like overripe fruits like peach and mango and, you know, like pineapple whip, things like that, but then still have just a bit of that like dank resin background that kind of reminds you that it's an IPA.
It's a little strong, like right off, like a little bitter, but it's good. It's like the
8.5% alcohol. You know, and like when I say dank and resin, cannabis and hops, they're cousins. So it's the same.
Are they?
Yeah. So there's a lot of similarities. Like sometimes people will take a drink of something like, man, this smells like, tastes like I smoked a joint. Or
wait, I've experienced that. It smells like weed a little bit.
That's because the plants are cousins. So it's the same family. So a lot of that time when people say something's dank, it's not just a filler word. It's a literal, it's because the hop mimics that. So you can use certain hops to pull that out more.
And there's CBD infused beer now, I've seen. Do you guys have any of that?
I haven't started messing with that. That's a whole different ball game.
Yeah,
but
so much.
It's interesting. For sure.
So far, I like this one better. I think
Like I said, that is a very popular style. It's literally the reason that we make them, you know?
I get so drunk off that just because it tastes like juice. I'm like, what's it been like growing it in Vegas? I know you were saying, you know, are there a lot of breweries, beer places here?
Yeah, it depends. I mean, if you go back in the beer history, like 5-10 years, there wasn't so many, like before that, there wasn't that many. But since I've started Beer Zombies in the last probably like 5 to 8 years, we've gotten a lot more of a beer community here. More breweries opened up, more bottle shops, more draft rooms. So that's cool. But when I first started, that was really one of the reasons I started Beer Zombies you know, there's tradings of beer, like where you find somebody in a different city and you mail beer to them, they mail beer to you. And it was a way for me to try things that I couldn't get in Las Vegas. But now, I mean, we're getting to the point where we have so much beer coming in. If you're a beer lover, it's a good time to be in Vegas right now.
Wow, I feel like it's a good time to be in Vegas just in general. Like there's so many amazing things happening and you need beer for that as well. How many locations are in Vegas?
So in Vegas proper, we have 3. We have the one that we're at in downtown Summerlin, one off of Warm Springs in Durango, which is near kind of like the IKEA curve, one over off of Dean Martin on the same side of the street as Raider Stadium, and then a new one up in Boulder City, and then we also have one in Salt Lake City in the Gateway District.
Wow. And tell me a little bit about the festivals you're going to in a few weeks. What is that whole culture all about?
So that is, that's honestly probably the funnest part about what I get to do is it's a lot of, you know, networking and marketing, but it's also a lot of friends and you know, a lot of these places that I go, these are people that I talk to daily now. These are all people I met through beer that have become friends. So you get invited out to, you know, travel around and pour beer, and I like to do it myself. You know, you go to a beer festival and you might have a rep there, or you might have somebody from a distributor, but whenever it's the owner or the brewer, you know, that makes me want to stand in the line and get a beer and say hi to that person. So it does a lot of marketing for Beer Zombies, the brand, but it's starting to be festival season, which is a busy one. So pretty much every weekend or every other weekend between the end of August and 1st of December, we'll be out and about. We got Maryland and Richmond and Nashville. Indiana, and
sounds so fun.
Yeah, it's a good time. It's a very good time. Long weekends though. You come back and you have to take a liquid IV and some vitamins.
Hey, but there's liquid IV here. I've done it before. The pop shot, it's the whole thing. So you guys go together to some of the festivals?
Some of them, we have little one, and so I don't go to. Thank you. And so I don't go to all of them, but we try and make it work. So I get to go and show, you know, face and get, you know, interaction with the people and everybody. So
I feel like you guys have built such a big community in Vegas, starting and now like really across the whole country. You keep building it. That's probably the coolest part.
Yeah, it's exciting to see. You know, it'd be weird. I'll be on Instagram and somebody in Turkey is tagging me, "Hey, I'm drinking your beer. I just got it at the little shop." And I'm like, wow. You know, stuff like that is kind of still where it catches you off guard. Where like, wow, that's actually really, really cool. You know, just take a step back and realize that this has become, you know, a global brand that's recognized. You know, I'll be walking down the street and people will say, "Is that a Beer Zombies tattoo?" And not even know who I am. They just know the logo. And I'm like, "Oh yeah," you know, or my mom was at Red Rock.
I was just gonna say,
and somebody had a Beer Zombies hat on. And she's like, "My son owns Beer Zombies," you know?
Yeah. That's so cool.
So it's definitely cool to see people, especially outside of the circle of people that I know. You know, if you travel around to pretty much any beer spot, randomly somebody will walk in with some sort of Beer Zombies merch on, or so that part is definitely fun.
I've seen you guys at Skinny Fats, the tap room, which is awesome. What was the first beer you ever created?
The very first one actually was Mosaic Juice, which, do I have a can?
It's actually, it's right over.
No, it's not up
it's
there.
not up there.
So Mosaic Juice was a beer that we did with King's Brewing in Rancho Cucamonga. And the owner, Jeremiah, has just been a really big supporter of Beer Zombie since we started. And we started talking. He said we should do a beer together. And that's how we kind of got into the beer part of Beer Zombies. And then we did only collaborations for a while, which means I would travel to other people's breweries. We would brew a beer together, design the labels, the concept, release it, and then that would be the beer. So it would be your brewery with Beer Zombies as like a guest star, basically.
Okay.
And then in 2020, we started Beer Zombies Brewing, which is now, we are definitely pumping out some beer. So we distributed to 41 states and 15 countries. So we throw some beer out there for sure. We're still doing collaborations. Actually, the ones that we have up here, these are actually all collaborations. I didn't mean to pick up the cans, but this is the one we flew to Miami and we did a collaboration with Jay Wakefield, which, being a beer geek at heart, that was like a bucket list one for me. These are people that I look up to. These ones are from Burley Oak. They're called Beer Zombies Dreams. We do these in Baltimore and Maryland area. And this one's actually a Vegas one. Did this with Astronomy Ale Works and Juxta Nomad. So try to travel around and do some in the hometown and have fun.
And you said that you did all the art.
So all the art is concept by myself. I'm to the point now where we do have somebody on staff that does does it in digital form. But all the sketching ideas, all that stuff comes from me. And then Colin is his name. He does it, makes it where it works for a can, for a label.
Wow, that's awesome.
It's really cool to see too, because when Chris started, doing the designs, and as he still does the designs, he has a sketchbook, and he'll be sketching everything out, and he'll call me over and he'll say, hey, what do you think of this? And I mean, I'm not an artist by any means, but I kind of put my 2 cents in here and there. And it's really cool to see, the infant stage of this idea that he's come up with, but he has to constantly come up with ideas. I mean, different ideas for every single beer. So I mean,
we kind of stay
incredible.
in the lane of like horror movie.
Okay. Zombie.
But not. I never wanted to be like
campy.
Yeah. It has to be on brand, but not expected. I guess is what it is. So I pull a lot of like nostalgia, like 80s and 90s imagery, pop art, things that I like. I always kind of say I make a label or merchandise to what I would wear, and then if no one else likes it, at least I have it.
But if you like it, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part.
Hopefully.
But I mean, like even the cans on the wall. So we have like, you have The Shining House, which is a vintage horror movie. You have Hop Show. So we pull from a lot of like, I was born in '77, so like right when I was discovering kind of like this kind of movies was, 13, 12, which was like late 80s, early 90s, and that's that perfect boom of just all the great movies coming out as far as that genre goes.
Yeah. I haven't seen like any movies. I need to watch them. I haven't seen The Shining, or like I'm really afraid of horror movies.
That is my favorite horror. And it's not even that. It's like not even a horror movie. I guess it's classified.
Yeah.
But The Shining is by far one of the best movies ever made. In my opinion.
What's The Shining about? Like I can't even.
Oh gosh, what rabbit hole do you go down to? Do you
like
want to take the blue pill or do you want to take the red pill?
Yeah,
it's a Stephen King novel. That's what it's based off of. But Stanley Kubrick, created the film, and it's just an iconic psychological thriller that is just it's pretty intense.
It's good,
but it's a good one. You need a bottle of wine with that one.
Yeah, for sure.
or a good beer. Yeah.
Do you guys try to match the flavor profile to like the movie, if that makes sense? Like a stout with like
really.
a darker.
I mean, sometimes like you'll notice that we do a lot of like fruited sours, which we do, it's like really fruity and almost like a slushy style beer. Okay. Those labels tend to be lighter, as in color wise.
Like these two right here.
Yeah, so I mean, you pick it up, like this one to me screams like a dark beer.
Yeah.
Because it's a stout.
Yeah.
So I guess kind of, but when we do like a lot of the imagery, it's more of coming up with a concept and a name and then a recipe at the same time and pushing them together. When you're doing as many as we are now, you have to, we're doing our schedule 3 to 6 months in ahead. So we already have our beers for December lined up. They're getting ready to come out. So it's constant.
Wow.
You have to obviously put a lot of thought into it, but you can't just stick on one thing for too long. Yeah. It has to be like, all right, we got deadlines and brew schedules to go. So
I think the way his mind works, it's perfect though.
Yeah.
Yeah, ADD
You're
is what she's saying.
constantly
It's okay, I have ADHD too. So, do you come out with a new beer every month?
Yeah, we come out with multiple a month. So we have 2 core beers which are in the market right now. One is blonde. It's called Boomstick Blonde.
Okay.
Boomstick was the shotgun from Ash and the Evil Dead. That's what he called the shotgun, so we call it Boomstick. And then we have Zombie Duck Hunter, which is a kind of like a 90s Nintendo throwback from that game Duck Hunter. So you have a zombie holding up like 2 ducks. Those are our 2 cores. Those are coming out every month, always, and those are available, right here. Trader Joe's has them, Whole Foods, anywhere you can buy craft beer, those are pretty much on. And then every month we come out with a rotational hazy IPA. So it's usually like in the 8 to 9.5% alcohol. Juicy IPA, less bitterness every month. And then on top of that, a fruited sour every month, and then usually a 3rd beer.
Okay.
So right now it's a lot of beers. It's not as much as if we had a brewery like in-house where you're just constantly brewing, but it's still very big amounts of beer.
Yeah. I think I'm ready for like a stout.
All right, what do we have stout-wise? Oh, you know what?
You're ready to party.
Yeah,
I know,
you
went.
It's 9 a.m. We're ready to party. The store's closed, but it's open for us, so we're ready.
I like how you went from, I don't want to drink at 9 in the morning to I'm ready for a stout.
It's too strong. Oh,
Ready for a stout.
I know, I'm lying. I haven't drank for a while, so I'm like ready now.
All right, so
You just needed a little bit of liquid courage.
Exactly.
So this is one that we did not that long ago, and this is 14% alcohol. We went for a banana cream pie.
Perfect. 14.
14, it's a really nice morning beer.
Yeah.
Something you can do at 9 in the morning and be fine for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
So 14% alcohol, it's a banana coconut cream pie stout is the idea behind it. So you're still gonna get a lot of like those rich, roasted, chocolatey, malty flavors, but then we added banana and coconut to it.
This is the highest alcohol content?
No, you wanna go higher? We can go higher next.
No.
Oh my God. You're crazy. Thank goodness baby's with your mom right
See,
now.
the difference is this is a tasting and this is classy. It's tasting.
Exactly,
So
classy.
we can have more and it's okay.
Oh wow, that's strong.
See, it's funny, I taste this, I don't taste strong.
Logan?
I do.
I always tell we want to get him on a 360 cam, just like eating.
Does this
and
taste
drinking behind the
strong?
camera. Come on.
Right? It doesn't taste strong.
Get out of here.
Almost like
Like you said,
Yeah.
it's pretty
You
strong.
got-
A light night
You got
in
roasted,
here.
like you got coffee malts in there, you got chocolate malts,
It's like coffee.
and then you kind of get like that subtle banana coconut on the back end. So
Like sweating already.
we should probably do one more and then we can taste some wine.
Yeah,
Okay,
okay.
one more and then we'll taste some
One
wine.
more.
So this is something that's super unique.
Yeah, whatever I pour, you guys are gonna be like, this is great.
It's wonderful. Oh my god.
So this one is actually really fun. 16.5% alcohol.
Jeez, babe.
So it's called Bala Baracus, and it has kind of
What's
like
it called, Baba?
Bala Baracus, like an A-team theme. So this is one that, making beer with friends is the best part. We have one of the people that we work with a lot is Mason L Works, and they have a motto that I love. It's called Friends Over Finance. So they always do things that makes sense for them with their friends, and then hopefully it makes sense financially,
Yeah.
but this is one of those. This beer took about a year and a half to make. So money-wise, probably wasn't the smartest idea, but it's really cool. So we took mead barrels, which is a honey wine, and then we put barley wine in it and let it sit for a year and a half. So this is nothing added to it as far as adjuncts. So anything you taste in there is gonna be straight from the barrel. And the barrel that held the mead had strawberry, blueberry, different fruits in it. And then once you throw that in there, the beer soaks it up and you start pulling out like subtle nuances of it. So you kind of get like a little bit of tartness, a little bit of berryness, but then you're still getting that barley wine, which is a ton of like roasty, malty, like kind of like sweeter ends on it anyways. And then it's also, like I said, 16.5%.
Smells amazing. Well, cheers just one more time.
Yeah,
Oh
cheers.
yeah, why not?
Thank you.
Cheers, cheers, cheers.
So that's a whole different style.
Ooh, I like that.
So you kind of went through the gamut now. You got super fruited sours, nice and light. Then you went to an IPA with the bitterness, stout, kind of sweet pastry stout, and now you're into a barley wine. So you kind of hit a little bit of everything today.
I like it. Somehow my favorites are these two. The
So-
heaviest one.
Funny.
Talk about total bookends. She's like, I really like either super fruited sours or barley
It
wines.
just depends. It depends on the mood. Yeah, it depends on the
Exactly.
mood.
This
I
is a
just like
sipper.
this. Like it's,
So like this is something you pour in a glass and you turn on Netflix and you watch the whole movie and you sip on it the whole time. This is not,
Like,
let's have one and order another one.
no,
I mean,
yeah.
you can, but
Yeah.
16.5% kind of puts you under.
yeah, that's what, Logan.
I don't have the best memories with barley wines, to be honest. I don't.
Is that like, is barley wine
It's too crazy.
like, is that something you study too, or is that different?
It's not really a wine.
It's not
Yeah.
a wine. It's just basically they use
Isn't it good?
That's tasty, right? Yeah, we got a couple cool projects for Halloween coming out for sure. We have a beer called Zombies, Gods, and Goddesses, which is a very cool label.
It's a great.
Yeah,
label.
it's a fun one.
It's
It kind
one
of
of my
has
favorites.
throwback to like some Justice for All Metallica kind of statuesque with the beer zombies holding another like zombie head, and it's a cool label.
That's cool.
And that's going to release for Halloween, and then we actually do a really big Christmas beer, which is funny.
Really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
It's called Christmas Slaycation.
It's actually
and
right over there in the bottom
Is
corner.
it the same one every year?
Yeah, so we've
Okay.
done it every
Yeah.
year. People love it. It gets picked up a lot of stores. Like it's a heavily fruited cherry pie sour. So
It's so
Oh,
good.
that
It's like-
sounds so
yeah.
good. Oh my
It's
God.
so good.
sweet,
I love sweet.
sweet
Yeah.
cherry, tart cherry, like brown sugar, marshmallow, vanilla, and it just goes good for.
It delivers for the
Yeah.
holidays. It really does.
It pours
It's just so
red,
good.
which is
Yeah.
fun.
Oh, that's cool.
It's awesome. It's really good.
Do you guys have like Halloween events?
We do not so much. So this is actually the largest location that we have until we open up Boulder City. So once we go to the other ones, you'll kind of see it's more about the community it builds. It's like a little hub. We are going to be working on Halloween events. They do a big one here at downtown Summerlin, so we'll be involved in that, and then we have one in Boulder City as well.
That'll be fun.
Yeah.
If you guys have had a beer maybe like in June, are there some that are just limited edition and don't come back, and then people are like, "Where is that beer?"
Yeah, pretty much always.
Yeah.
Every month, the beers that come out is that's the month, and it's
Yeah.
gone. Now we've started re-releasing some of like the hits that people really like.
Okay.
So like 2 years have gone by, so we released one of the beers, and and it's kind of cool too, is because a lot of people are still discovering beer zombies, so they didn't get to have the first one that came
around.
out, and now they're oh, I get to try the one that started it all type thing. So
That's
we've been
cool.
doing that slowly, but the idea is kind of, I take notes from like the sneaker world and
Yeah.
stuff like that, where it's this is a limited drop. If you want it, you have to come get it, because if you don't, it's gone.
And it's more special. You can keep the cans and stuff.
That's the thing with the beer world. When you can have it all the time, no one wants it. It's such a weird
It's-
concept.
Yeah.
But the core beers that we do kind of fill that void. So you can always get those. Those are always available. If you're the type of person that is not super into chasing things down,
Yeah.
those are always available. But if you like that kind of subculture part of beer, then yeah, we have that too.
What's like the process like for you guys from an idea to the can?
It really just kind of depends. I look at the brew calendar and know that what beers we have to make. I have in my phone, I have notes and notes and notes. Whenever I'm out and I see something that sparks an idea, I'll write it down and I'll pull up my phone and kind of say, all right, cool. This is an idea I've had for a little bit. I haven't done this label. I haven't done this hop combo. Let's go for it, and just kind of run that way.
Or he'll text me, remember this.
Yeah, I do that a lot.
Send a picture.
Like if
remember
I'm
this.
somewhere,
This is
if
what
I'm talking
doing.
to somebody, I don't want to be rude, but same thing. I bartended for so many years. You're used to talking to somebody, but listening to somebody else. It's just part
The
of
same thing.
So, I'll be talking to somebody and I hear something out of the corner of my eye. I'll pull out my phone. I'm like, Raquel, remember this.
Yeah.
I literally have dreams, and I wake up at 4 a.m. and I'm like writing things in my
Yeah.
notes. This would be so cool. Yeah, that's well, I want to check out this one. So you said this is the Dream?
Yeah, so DREAM stands for Juice Rules Everything Around Me. So we do a lot of 90s hip hop
Yeah, I
too.
was just gonna say.
So-
our
It's so in right
our
now,
affinity
too.
with
Yeah.
90s hip hop
Guys,
though
that's
is
so cool.
Yeah, so
We love the
90s hip
90s
hop,
hip-hop, yeah.
like, rock, metal, alternative kind of genre. So there's a lot of, actually, I don't have one of our cans, but on the side, I always put little hidden messages on them, and a lot of them will be song lyrics that kind of go with the label, or movie quotes or whatever. So,
That's so cool.
yeah, there's some hidden imagery, but this one, these are fun. So this is
They're delicious.
actually named after the rules from Zombieland. So there's 33 rules to Zombieland.
Okay.
And so we teamed up with Burley Oak to do 33 beers over the next however many years. It's been I guess a year and a half, and we're on number 10.
Okay.
So
Oh.
about every
Yeah,
that's fun.
3 or 4 months we release 2. So this one is a sour with strawberry, coconut, lemon, and then vanilla.
That sounds
So
delicious.
they drink very, very good.
So
People love
good.
them. They're fun. This one's more of a cherry pie, like a cobbler, darker fruits. But yeah, that's been a very popular style for the last year, is that fruited sour.
Yeah.
It's sweet. People like sweet. It's not a ton of alcohol. Usually range between 4 and 7. I know 7 sounds like a lot, but
Well,
this is 14. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's not, but it's been a very, very popular style.
Yeah. Do you guys ever have maybe kind of a golden ticket or silver ticket beer can, and if you find it, you win something?
We've done a lot of giveaways and scavenger hunts.
I was just gonna say you're big on
over the years,
hunts.
and I'm always trying to think of something fun to do.
Yeah.
I mean, I always look at it like, what would I'm 45, but if somebody does a scavenger hunt, I'm still gonna do it.
Yeah.
It's like those things.
Yeah, that's cool.
So I just kind of always look at things like, all right, what would I like to do? What would be fun for somebody that's into beer that wants to be involved? So I do a lot of stuff like that. But
You're buying all the cans, like looking for that one, like beer can.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever had an art competition? Maybe whoever wins gets like a.
I haven't. I'm kind of weird since I was a professional artist before, and I always hated it when people would be like, "Hey, you should join this contest." So I'm like, "All right, so you want me to spend 20 hours designing a label or a piece of art that you may or may not choose?" I don't know. I like to make sure that whenever we do something with artists, they get compensation and they also get recognition for it. It's a big support in that part of just because it's close to me.
Yeah, of course. You could do a collab maybe.
Yeah, of course. And that's the thing too, is people always like, oh, it's good for you. It's brand recognition. Of course, brand recognition is great. I love that. But it doesn't pay the bills. So I want to make sure this person
and there's a particular vision too, though. So that's.
But I mean, we have some collab stuff. Like this was a collaboration idea. Some of the stuff, there's a can over there that I did with somebody from Norway. Oh, wow. And that author actually does like the reprints from like Tolkien books. So he wanted to do the art and he talked to us on the phone and it came out really awesome. So I do give away some of that sometimes as far as that goes, but just to make sure that everyone's getting the recognition. Yeah,
I love that they're all so different. I feel like it makes it so memorable and it makes, craft beer so special anyways. And so this is even more special.
I mean, branding on craft beer is
everything.
You're buying with your eyes. If you go into a store, I'll go to another town and maybe I don't recognize the brewery, but I look at that label and I want it. So it works on me, so I know it has to work on other people. It's a very, very big part of the beer industry.
Definitely works on me. Like no matter where I go, I'm always looking for the coolest package. What will look cooler on my table or whatever.
But yeah, absolutely.
What's been your favorite part of working together?
I think because we're able to kind of read each other's minds. So there's a lot of,
I'm actually feeding her what to say right now.
Yeah, it's
I love it. You guys are doing great.
But yeah, I mean, we're able to kind of feed off of each other, and like I already know how he works. He knows how I work, so it's pretty fluid in terms of just knowing what each other, where we want to be, and our level of expectation. We're both perfectionists. And I have, like cleaning OCD, so I always want to make sure everything's clean, and then he has a particular way of doing things. So we know our strengths, we know our weaknesses, and I think that's why we're able to work together.
And getting to spend time together. I mean, that's
awesome. That was actually the biggest thing too.
Yeah, it's
and that was a big thing.
Part of it. It's getting to not be gone all the time, and I don't want to turn into that. She's working nights, I'm working days, and we never see each other. So that is a very big bonus. We got lucky in that part of it.
Yeah, sure. That happens like so often.
All the time.
So that's awesome.
And it didn't happen overnight.
Yeah.
I mean, we had to work hard for it. And when I was studying for my SOM certifications, he was holding down the house, with the kids, and then we kind of flipped the script, when I was done with my certifications, and then he was really, pushing Beer Zombies full force, full time. We kind of switched roles, and so we were able to really tag team and be each other's rock and be each other's support to be able to lift it, because we knew the end goal was to work together, to be together, so we can spend quality time with each other and the kids. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
And what is your favorite part of just selling beers, being here, running the business? Not $1 spent on marketing this time.
Yeah, no marketing. As I say, I like the interaction. When people ask me like what my role is, I always say I'm a network guy. At the end of the day, I think coming from the industry that we did, which is F&B, and being behind the bar for 20 years, you kind of develop that anyways, right? You're selling yourself, you're selling drinks, you're talking to people. So I always look at myself like as the glorified marketing network person. I own Beer Zombies, but my role is to go out and be kind of the face of Beer Zombies and talk to people, and I still enjoy it. I think that's still my favorite part. My least favorite part would be, like what she likes to do, the cleaning in the office, and I'm not good at like sitting still a long time.
Yeah.
So
No.
I like to be able to move around, and I think also being able to pop in between all the different stores, it helps out. I'll come here, I'll talk to Blair, who's one of our manager here, and do some computer work, and then after about 20 minutes, I'm like, all right, I gotta go to the next spot.
Yeah.
I don't really know why I have to go to the next spot, but I know I don't want to be here longer than that. So just kind of being able to pop around and be fluid and and talk to guests. And we get a lot of people come out of town. A lot of people. Beer Zombies is kind of like a pilgrimage for people. They put it on their list. If I ever go to Vegas, I'm going to Beer Zombies. So I get messages, hey man, I flew in from wherever. I'm gonna be at Beer Zombies today. We'll be around, so I'll pop by and then, say hi, and they get excited. They bring beer to share. It's very what brings people back. It's part of it. So that's me. I like to be that.
He's being modest, but
no, but I like that part of things. That's exciting for me. And then obviously coming up with beers and the behind the scenes part is fun. It's just a lot more sitting down working as opposed to being able to be schmoozing.
This man never stops though.
Love it.
Never stops. Yeah.
That river keeps flowing.
Yeah, we went to Stockholm and we had some really fun mead, and mead is like a whole nother level. I have a big respect for mead. But once you get into like the barrel programs and everything, it's really cool to see what kind of different barrels, it could be sherry barrels, it could be bourbon barrels, it could be, barrels from, a cab that they used previously. So it just depends on, I guess, what the brewer is looking for. Like if Chris is, has a vision of like a flavor profile, he'll say like, okay, we're gonna seek out some sherry barrels or some rum barrels, or so it doesn't have to be wine barrels.
And the crazy part about that is you put something in a barrel and you let it sit for a year, and then you taste it, and it could be completely gross, and you dump it right down the drain because a barrel is it's a wood. You don't know what it's gonna pull. It could pull awesome flavors, or it could pull something that you just don't like. Yeah. So that's why I have a huge respect for people that have like big barrel age programs. Where they have thousands of barrels and people are in there tasting them and rotating them and moving them. That's a whole different labor of love right there. Yeah. We do like 4 or 5 barrels at a time. There's places that do hundreds and hundreds at a time.
And you have to like go in with it with a mindset that maybe you might throw some away. That's hard.
I've been there. We've had to do it. It's you get to the point where you taste it and you're like, this is not good. It pulled off some weird funky flavors, or whatever was in there just threw an odd taste. So
you said there's pizza and food here as well, right?
Yeah, so this location is really unique because it has its own menu. So Mark Marone is our partner on this side of things, and we have a full pizza menu. We do salads and French dips, and it's very cool. Everything is ran through. We have a kitchen in the back. Everything is ran through this really special oven that he sourced out. Wings, they're very good. So it's cauliflower. Yeah, we have a little bit. Yeah, we have
that sounds so good.
We have a little bit of everything. We have some vegan options even on the pizzas and stuff. And our dough is fermented for 72 hours before we use it, so it gets nice and thick, but it's airy. So it's it's deception. You pick it up, you're like, oh, I thought this would be heavy. It's nice and light, and he sources out the greatest ingredients, and it's a very, very cool concept. We have a beer and pizza pairing called the Flying Zombie. So it's a 27-inch Detroit deep dish style, and then it comes with these. So these are 5 ounces a piece. So it'll come with 2 beers for each of the 4 different pizzas on there. So you get 40 ounces of beer and a pizza.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah. It's fun. It's a good combo.
Perfect Monday morning snack,
Exactly.
All right, well now on to wine.
Cool.
How about that?
So kind of what I was talking about before, our wine program is a little bit smaller. It was just more meant to complement the beer program here. It's a little bit more, it's curated very carefully, I like to say, just because I want to make sure that everything is very well thought out. So we have some lighter styled wines in terms of, like if for white and red, light, medium, full body. So we want to make sure we appease, everybody's style. So something that I pulled out for today is the Albarino. I'm a huge fan of Albarino, and I just actually put this.
It's so cute. I love it.
Oh, thank you. So this is the Condes de Álvarez. This is an Albarino from Rías Baixas, Spain. It's a 2020 vintage. This is really fun. I love this one because it's perfect for summer. It's perfect for this weather.
I love how she pours.
I love whatever wine she pours me because I don't have a huge wine knowledge, but she knows what I like, so I always trust. I'm like,
And that's what's fine. It's part of my job. So I've been doing this for quite a bit, and that's literally my job, is to know what my guest wants or what my husband wants. I know his profile. My mother-in-law, I know exactly what she likes. My mother, I know exactly what she likes. So,
that's so sweet.
It's really fun, and so I try and keep it light for everyone today. I don't want to kill anybody today.
After the beer.
I was saying, what's the ABV on this? Is our barley wine higher?
Probably. This is 12 and a half.
Yeah, so we had two beers higher already.
Yeah. But this one is really light. I brought this on for the summertime. Cheers.
Cheers. I'm supposed to
Yeah, so you give it a little swirl. The nose, you give it a little smell first.
Light.
And it's fun to kind of see if what you get on the nose is going to mirror on the palate.
That's
or
so
if it's
light.
going to contrast. It's so light. You get a little bit of orange blossom and you get minerality, you get some lime.
I love that.
And the cool thing about this particular wine is its close proximity to the water. So it's northwestern Spain. So this has a lot of influence of salinity and that ocean spray. You know, people say oyster shells.
Yeah.
So it gives it that a bit of a different complexity element to it. So you get that mixed in with kind of those citrus fruits and those fruit blossoms and a little bit of the minerality added to it.
Funny because I don't usually like white wine, but I feel like this is so different. It doesn't taste like something about white wine tastes like bitter to me, but this doesn't have that at all.
Yeah, and it's funny because this one has a little bit of bitterness to it, maybe just a tad, but I think maybe after trying the wines, it kind of just suits it out a little bit.
And the other cool thing is, you know, since a lot of people come in here for the majority of beer first and then discover we have wine, Raquel started something called Wine Wednesdays, so she can talk about that a little bit, but it kind of helps people that maybe are a little bit afraid to approach certain wines or what are you doing on Wine Wednesdays?
Yeah, so Wine Wednesdays we do half off on bottles, so which is really nice. It gives an opportunity to come with your friends and you can enjoy bottles, you know, that you maybe not normally would enjoy. We also do wine flights as well, so I'll select a wine flight for a white as well as a red lineup, and that gives an opportunity to try different styles, you know, light, medium, full body, and you know, we try and switch it up.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's a really great time, and people really come in and they get excited. They're like, we've never had this type of wine. So, and it's different. I think downtown Summerlin, or just Summerlin in general, it needs a little bit more of that kind of that variety of wine. You know, I think we tend to stick, us wine drinkers tend to stick like, no, this is what I like. Or a lot of consumers go to, you know, Whole Foods or Trader Joe's and they're like, I like this wine. Yeah. So we want to give them an opportunity to be able to try something new, try something they would have never thought to, you know, order. Yeah. And I think it's really working, so.
You made a good point. You said some people are kind of afraid. That's how I am. Like once I try one I love, I'm so afraid to try anything new because I'm scared I won't like it because I don't know exactly what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of a wine flight. I thought that was such a cool idea. I mean, I know it's around, but I hang out majority of beer places. So if I can come in here and the bartender's like, oh, you want to try a glass of wine? We do wine flights. I don't feel invested. I have to get a whole glass and maybe not like it. I can try however many, the 2, 3, 4 different wines in the flight. And then, oh, I like this wine. Now I know. I'm probably going to order a beer still, but at least I know, you know. It's definitely a cool add-on to the experience of being at Beer Zombies.
Yeah, I love that. Beer and wine zombies. Love it. Well, this is so delicious. Take one more sip.
I'm debating. I'm already starting to fill those beers.
I definitely am. Like I said, I have an 8. It's 9 a.m. And I have
it's also been 9 a.m. for the last hour, just so you know.
I keep saying that. I'm like, it's 9 a.m. today, like 2 p.m. I also haven't drank in like a month, so definitely just feeling this more so. Well, that's delicious. What's your absolute favorite wine here?
I'm a bubbles girl. Really? And so I think and I'm a lightweight now that I'm a mom, it's just, I don't really drink nearly as much as I do, so I tend to stick with bubbles. I don't drink soda or anything, I just need that effervescence. So when I'm not drinking beer, I'm drinking bubbles. We do have this wine called Bougie that's amazing. It's a little bit of more strawberries and it's a little sweeter, but it's definitely an old school way of, you know, sparkling wine being made. So that's fun, but anything sparkles.
That Bougie is really good.
The Bougie is really good, yeah.
If you like
I don't
this,
have it today, but
I feel like that's the equivalent of having like a Bougie. It's
I don't have it
for
today,
me, you know, like I said, not in the wine world. Like that's what I look at it. It's like it's fruity, it's fun, it's sparkly, and it tastes good. You know, it just tastes really good.
Well, and that's also another good point that I just thought of when I was selecting the wine, or anytime I select the wine, I try and be mindful of our beer drinkers. Because part of me just wants to convince a beer drinker to drink some wine.
Yeah. You're like, you don't need beer, wine first.
Yeah. Or if I know that, you know, typically if like people like barrel aged or wild ales or like lambics, I'm like, okay, I know I can get them into something like this. Yeah. So there's definitely some wine in the program that I put, so I know that I'll get some beer drinkers. It matches well. Yeah.
Love that. Well, thank you guys so much. It's been so much fun.
Thank
One
you.
final cheers as a thank you.
Cheers to 9 a.m.
Yes, cheers to 9 a.m.
Cheers to 9 a.m. Thank you.